In this Pinterest for Business tutorial, you'll learn how to pin on Pinterest and how to structure your pins to help you maximize your reach on Pinterest. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Sarah Nguyen, your online marketing strategist, helping you grow your business using social media with ease. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing for all of the latest product reviews, social media marketing tips and training. And at any time during this video, make sure you check out the description for links to all of the resources mentioned in this video. So let's have a look at how to create a pin and pin it to Pinterest.
Your pins really are the lifeblood of your Pinterest account. And it's extremely important to make sure that when you go to the effort of creating pins on Pinterest for your own content, that you're utilizing the space and functionality available to you in the best way. When we look at pins that perform really well, that means that they get repinned and get lots of comments, and we want this for our pins. The more repins we get, the more reach we get for our content. And the more reach we get, the more traffic we can get back to our websites. The few things that these pins have in common are, firstly, the pin image is tall and not wide. Pinterest displays your pins in columns, both on desktop and mobile. So if you have a pin image that is wide, Pinterest will shrink it down to fit into the columns. Making your pin long or tall will enable you to have more content visible on a user's screen at a time. Whereas if you have an image that is wide, it gets shrunk down. A longer image spends a little bit more time in the newsfeed, enabling a user to digest it and hopefully click on it. Pinterest recommend that you design an image that is in a 2:3 ratio. So if it's 200 pixels wide, then it's 300 pixels long. Some other dimensions that work well are 736 pixels wide by 2748 pixels high. This size pin appears like this in the Pinterest newsfeed, giving you lots of vertical space. When a user clicks on it, there's lots of space for you to utilize to put your images to create a story and captivate your users. An even larger size is 976 pixels wide by 3642 pixels high. This is an extremely long pin that gives you lots and lots of space to use visually to create your story. Now, you don't have to use these long pin sizes if they're not that relevant to you. We recommend that you make use of this space so that you have the canvas to get your message across. So the first component of structuring your pin is to make the image tall and not wide so you can make use of that visual real estate. The second component of structuring your pins is to use beautiful imagery. Now remember, you're competing with other pins in the Pinterest newsfeed. So a good idea is to make sure that your pin is colorful or bright so that it doesn't get lost in the newsfeed. Using relevant product shots in your images is a good idea as long as it contributes to telling a story. Here's an example of a how to make pour over coffee pin. And what they've done here is put different images relating to the article, so the user is able to see what the article is about at a glance. Another example of using product shots in your pin is this 13 homemade beer recipes and tutorials pin. There are lots of different beer shots here to reinforce what the article is about and attract the user's attention. Using a bit of text on the image, like what you see here, is also a good idea to reinforce what the pin is about. You want to avoid adding too much text, and the reason for this is we don't want loud, spammy images. Images that are spammy in the style actually create distrust, which is not what you want. You want something that is clean, clear, and relevant to your image. Here's another example of a pin that has a text overlay. This is a good example of how to use text on your image, where it's clear, tells the user what the pin and the article is about, and it's not too dominating and shouty. The third component to consider when structuring your pin is creating a thoughtful description. The pin title and description is an extremely important section. The keywords that you use here helps to connect you with users searching for relevant content. So you want to create a detailed description using keywords so your content appears in the Pinterest search. You also want to avoid keyword stuffing and being spammy. So you want to make your descriptions meaningful and not just a bunch of spammy keywords. Here's an example of a pin that has a really good description. Contouring is the beauty skill of the moment, but the makeup and tools you need to pull off the face slimming look can be expensive. If you want to stock up on contour products, we have the best picks and we have something for every budget. Cheap, high quality drugstore makeup, fancy department store products, and everything in between. Here in this description, they're talking about the different product range that they have and how they can address a user's problem. They've used keywords in here such as, I'm assuming, drugstore makeup, fancy department store products, contouring, beauty, and they've woven it together really well so that it's a cohesive description that tells users what they get, the benefits of what they get, and the products that they offer. Don't be afraid to make your description long. There's quite a few lines and words here. The key is to make it meaningful and to tell your users what they get. Lastly, when structuring your pin, you want to include a call to action on your pins that helps your pinners take action. Whether that is in the description or subtly on the image, you want to tell users what they can do next that will help them. Whether it's buying your product or signing up for a free piece of content or entering a competition, you need to make sure that you add a call to action. A nice example of adding a call to action on your pin is in the pin that you see here, which is a social media article. In the bottom, in the description, the user is given a little bit of context and then is told to click through for tips. A simple call to action telling the user what to do next. Another example of adding a call to action to your pins is on the pin that you see here. Once again, in the description, you get some context regarding the issue that they are addressing, and the call to action is to download the Beginner Photographer Equipment Guide for free. So as you can see, the call to action doesn't need to be an aggressive buy me now, just a simple nudge to get the users taking the next step. Now that you know how to structure a pin, let's go ahead and actually pin it to Pinterest. So if you go to your profile and in the right-hand corner, click on the plus sign. If you haven't installed the Pinterest button already, this is the notification that you will get. You can install the Pinterest browser button to make it even easier to pin to Pinterest. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to click on Get Our Browser button. Depending on which browser you use, Pinterest will automatically download the correct browser extension for you. So after you've clicked on the browser button, check the downloads folder. You should have a file extension that you double click on. It will install itself to your browser. Then close your browser. Once you've reopened your browser, you'll notice this little Pinterest icon on the browser. Now yours may be on the right hand side if you're using Chrome. Mine's on the left hand side because I use Safari. But this little button here makes it really easy for me to pin content from other websites. So let's look at how we would pin using the browser button first. So I would open up the article or the web page that I'd like to pin. After clicking on your Pinterest button, Pinterest will then find different images for you to save to your Pinterest boards. You need to have your Pinterest account open in order for this to work. Click on the image that you want to pin. Pinterest will then ask you to pick a board that you want to pin it to. If you don't have that board set up yet, you can click on it, create a board and set it up there. I'm going to click on social media tips and click save. And this is the pin set up on my board. I can click on edit and I can see right here that the pin has my website URL there. I can delete the pin or I can save it. If I go back to my boards, I can see in the social media tips board that my pin is right here. The thing that I don't like about the Pinterest browser button is that it doesn't enable you to upload the image that you want. You're stuck with the images that Pinterest finds. And sometimes they're not the most beautiful images that you can possibly have. So in order to have an image of your own choice for your pins, we can do that by clicking on the plus button in the bottom right-hand corner. And then we're going to click on Upload a Pin. I'm going to choose the image that I want to appear as my pin, something that I prepared earlier. This will upload the pin. Once again, I choose the board that I want it to appear in, and I put a description here on the pin as well. I'm going to paste something that I prepared earlier. Then I'm going to select social media tips as the board that I want this pin to appear on. When I click See It Now, I'm able to edit it. Because we've uploaded an image for this pin, Pinterest doesn't know which blog post this image actually belongs to. So when someone clicks on the image, all that happens is the image is uploaded in a second window. And that's not really optimal because we want users to go to our blog post when they click on the image. So I'm going to copy the URL of the blog post that I want to drive traffic to. I'm going to go back to my pin, click on Edit, and then in this website section here, paste the blog post URL and click Save. And now, if I refresh, when someone clicks on the pin, it will open up the blog post link that I added to the pin, driving users from Pinterest to my website, which is what I want. When I go back to my Pinterest board, I can see the pin that I uploaded with my own image, a modified description, which now clicks through to my website. Another way to pin to Pinterest is to find stuff within Pinterest itself to add to your boards. If you search for content by keywords in the Pinterest search bar, you'll see a whole bunch of pins come up. Go through them, find what's relevant to you, and then if you want to pin it to your own boards, you can do so by clicking on the Save button. Pinterest will once again ask you which board that you want to pin it to, and then when you save it, the pin will appear on your board. You can go one step further, click on the Edit button, and in the description section, you can add some more context here, whether you quickly summarize what the article is about or put some key learnings or key points here. You don't have to stick with the description that the original pinner has added. Then you can once again save the pin or delete it. It's a good idea to have a combination of your own content and other people's content as well to balance out your boards. So now you know how to pin to Pinterest, whether it's using the Pinterest Pin It button, uploading your own pin and image, or sharing a pin that you found on Pinterest.
So there you have it, a step-by-step walkthrough of how to pin to Pinterest and how to structure your pins to get the most reach. If you found this video useful, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you're looking for more ways to grow your business using social media, make sure you grab a copy of my social media checklist. It's a comprehensive yet easy to follow guide to help you get set up on social media so you can start generating more leads and sales on social with ease. To get your hands on it, simply click on the link in the description below, and thanks for watching.